Hi, my name is Sandrina Muff, and today my presentation will be on Aetna, investing in diversity. Aetna is an American-based healthcare company founded in 1853. The company provides for 37.3 million Americans and provides its clients with both traditional and consumer-based health insurance services and products. The company and the rest of the world are in the midst of a suffering economic environment. Aetna's board members, some of which who are new, plan to cut the diversity initiative to save money. The chief diversity officer, Raymond Marcos, has to give a 35-minute presentation with 15 minutes for questions on why the diversity initiative should remain in place. With so much relevant information at his disposal, Raymond must determine what information will be the most persuasive in his presentation. Aetna has been one of the most notable healthcare companies in the United States. Aetna has been serving the American people with an extensive range of healthcare services, which include behavioral health, dental, disability plans, group life plans, healthcare management for Medicaid, medical pharmacy, and medical management capabilities. Aetna has around 35,000 employees, all trained in aiding clients with a wide range of healthcare services. Of the 35,000 Aetna employees, 31% are people of color, and about 16% of the people of color hold management or supervisory positions. In addition, 76% of Aetna employees are women. In 1926, Aetna had appointed their first female officer, Dr. Marion Bills, who was responsible for redoing the organization's policy, as well as implementing the bonus plan, which was a sliding pay scale used in data processing departments. In 1973, Aetna appointed the first ever African American to be a member of the board. Appointing the first ever African American of the board was a significant milestone in Aetna's history and a notable step for people of color within this organization. In addition, Aetna has been publishing an African American history calendar since 1982. This shows that Aetna has been incorporating people of color into their culture for a long time, and it is important that companies show they care about all their employees. Diversity allows for greater creativity and intuition when solving problems or coming up with new ideas. As employee resource groups, or ERGs, are great examples of diversity contributing to making a company thrive. A typical business strategy when attempting to reach different markets is to form a focus group. At Aetna, there is an African American ERG that operates a focus group. This ERG focuses on how to create ideas to target the urban market better. Having people who come from an urban background will allow them to have a more stronger connection with this particular market. Hispanic and Asian members of the ERGs are involved in translation support. Spanish and Mandarin Chinese are some of the most widely spoken languages around the world, and language does not always correctly translate from one form to another. Having people who speak these languages fluently will allow for a more accurate word match for legal documents. Their greater understanding of Aetna's messages creates better communication and saves time. Younger audiences typically respond well to people who can relate to them or are of a similar age. Generation Y has the ability to relate to the younger generation, and they aid Aetna in recruiting younger people into the organization. Generation Y helps with marketing efforts that are directed at adolescents, and by gaining the respect of the younger population now, this will allow for more success in the future. Every diversity program will have costs and payoffs. Aetna's diversity program is not only aggressive, but it is potentially costly. The only reason for the board wanting to cut the program is because they are experiencing financial difficulties and they need reassurance that it will be beneficial. While there will be an initial investment for the diversity programs, there will be long-term benefits. The current CEO had emphasized that making diversity a driving factor was the key to his success from 2001 to 2007. Aetna has received countless awards for its diversity efforts. Some include Top 40 Companies for Diversity by Black Enterprise Magazine and Top 50 Companies for Latinas by Latina Style Magazine. People like to see that their companies are diverse and including different races and genders in their organization. Aetna's diversity strategy, or the ICE strategy. ICE stands for Integration, Communication, and Education. Integration relates to the inclusion of all aspects of diversity, meaning age, sexual orientation, race, and so on. Integration is beneficial to various components of Aetna's company. Some of these components include HR, procurement, marketing, foundation, investments, and sales. Integration reinforces the business goals of Aetna. Communication allows for the spread of information from employees to clients they serve or other vital organization members. Internal and external communication passes along the message of Aetna's quality and shows that Aetna is diverse and a progressive company. Education gives a more in-depth insight into the components and meaning of diversity. It provides detail on who is included and how everything relates to Aetna's business strategy. Some things that Raymond should exclude from his presentation are the values-based approach. Aetna has a set of core values also known as the Aetna Way. The Aetna Way puts the needs of the client first. These values focus on integrity, employee engagement, excellence and accountability, and quality service and value. While these are great values, they do not relate to diversity. Raymond does not have enough time in his presentation to explain all these values and then relate them back to diversity. If he had more time, these would be good values to include. Another thing to exclude from the presentation is the current economic environment. The stock market crash was an event that was felt globally. Aetna did not suffer as much, and the current CEO stated, "Despite the significant weakening of the US economy, as well as the unprecedented turmoil in financial markets around the world, our core business performance remains solid." Aetna continued to be progressive in stressing affordable healthcare, improved quality of life for Americans, and increasing healthcare accessibility. While this is all very interesting and relatable facts, it's too much information to include in a 35-minute presentation, and it doesn't fit into a presentation on diversity. Some short-term recommendations for Raymond would be: 1, to find a creative design platform. The internet is one of the most innovative inventions of the modern age, and there are various platforms online that can be used to allow the user to design or edit documents in any way they want. The user can insert pictures or graphics that help to get more information into a presentation. Raymond has a lot of information he wishes to present in only a very short amount of time. Canva is a great tool that can provide an abundant amount of free templates to allow Raymond to present his content in any way, shape, or form. It is very user-friendly, so it would be easy for him to use, even if he does not have any previous experience using online design templates. Another short-term recommendation would be to add question prompts. These question prompts would go at the end of his presentation. During his presentation, the audience might lose focus or mishear information. Having these question prompts will allow him to prepare well thought out answers. An example of a question he could add would be, "Does anyone have any questions about Aetna's employee resource groups?" Having these question prompts will take some of the pressure off presenting and answering questions at the end. Some long-term recommendations that Raymond should consider is a post-presentation infographic. There's a lot of information that had to be cut from the presentation, and an infographic will provide the board with any information that Raymond could not fit into his presentation. A post-presentation infographic also acts as a follow-up with the board. It shows that Raymond is dedicated to his cause and promoting diversity. Another recommendation would be diversity in the values-based approach. This is something that should be added to future presentations. There were a lot of great core values in the Aetna Way, but they did not relate to diversity, and Raymond did not have time to include them in this presentation. They're a good set of values, but they need to relate to diversity, and Raymond should incorporate them into future presentations.